Hey, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, then welcome. My name is Maddie, and today I will be doing a book haul. So this is actually my book haul for spring. I don't think I'm going to title this my spring book haul because I feel like spring is way past us now. We're like halfway through summer at this point. It's just taken a while for me to get this video out. I wanted to do it like right as summer started, and it just didn't work out because I did film this video last month, but I didn't like the way it turned out. Like, I didn't look very enthusiastic while I was filming it, so I scrapped it, and so now we're starting again, and that's why this video is super belated. We're just gonna call it a big book haul because that is what it is. I have 36 books that I'm going to be sharing. These are all books that I have gotten in the span of 3 months. Yes, that is a lot of books to haul in that amount of time, but I mean, I read them, and that's all that matters, right? Right? As long as I'm reading them, like I'm actually reading them, like what does it matter that I get a lot of books in a short span of time? That's how I justify it. And I am very happy to say that out of these 36 books, I have read 23 of them. I did count, and I have read 23 of these books, which is amazing. I only have 13 books from this haul that I haven't read yet, but I have read the majority of them, which is fantastic. Like, that really means that I'm actually really reading the books that I am acquiring, and that is so important to me. So I have these books in two separate piles. One pile is the books that I haven't read yet, and the other pile are all the books out of this haul that I have read. And I think I'm going to be showing the books that I have not read yet that are still on my TBR. I don't think I'm going to be talking as much as I show the books that I have yet to read, because honestly I don't have a lot to say about them, and I also probably won't have a lot to say of what these books are about because I like to go into books as blindly as I can. I just know like certain tropes that these books have. I know their genres, and they're all genres that I am interested in, but I'll probably go more in depth as I talk about the books that I have read, because I'll have more to say on those because I have actually read them and know what they're about. So with that intro out of the way, why don't we just get right into this haul, and I'll show you the books that are still on my TBR from this haul that I have yet to read. So we're just going to start with the book that's on the very top of the pile, and that is The Wishing Game by Meg Shaffer. I got this book at my local thrift store, and I specifically decided to get it because it is a book from Book of the Month. That's what that little mark means right there. And I have a subscription to Book of the Month, and I've been really enjoying all the books that I have read from Book of the Month. In fact, I'm going to be showing a lot of books from Book of the Month in this haul. So when I saw this one was from the Book of the Month and I saw it at my thrift store, I'm like, you know what? Let me pick that up. Because if it's from Book of the Month, I think I'll like it. But I have yet to read it. All I know about it is that it is, I think it might be an urban fantasy. That has to do with this game. I know books are involved as well, and so it sounds interesting. I'm pretty sure it's adult. I don't think it's young adult. I'm pretty sure it's adult. I also did get another book that was also another book from Book of the Month when I went to this trip to the thrift store, the same trip that I got this book, but I recently started it and I wasn't enjoying it and I DNF'd it, and now I've unhauled it. So I won't be showing that book, but yes, I still have this one, and I do plan to read it. Next, I have a book that my mom actually gave me, and that is Bird Box by Josh Malerman. She had this book, and she just gave it to me, which is pretty awesome. Thank you, Mom. She has read it, and she has enjoyed it. She actually made me watch the movie adaptation to this book with her, and I really enjoyed the movie. I don't typically watch a book movie adaptation before reading the book because I prefer to read the book first, but I let it slide this time. And my mom actually informed me that the book is very different from the movie, so I think I'll still be getting a different experience while reading the book, so I still am very much going to read this. It is quite short. I think it's like under 300 pages. Very, very short. Next, I have Her Soul to Take by Harley LaRue. I have heard really good things about this one. It is a dark romance. I know that it has to do with a romance between, I think it's a human and a demon, which I've never I don't think I've ever read a romance between a human and a demon. Partially, well, mostly because I used to be scared of demons, and I've like gotten over that a lot now. Religious trauma talking right there, but I've gotten over that a lot now. So I'd be interested to read more books that have to do with demons. So we're gonna try this one out. The only thing is, I am not in a dark romance reading mood right now. I've mentioned that in past recent videos. I'm not in the mood to read dark romance right now, and I've started to think that that might have to do with the changing of seasons. Because I think in the summer I just want to read more like lighthearted books and stuff that's not as deep. But when fall comes around, I'm pretty sure I'll be picking this book up because I think I'll be more in the mood for it. I did pick this one up at Target, and this is the special edition copy. Have not read this book before at all, but I found the special edition to be quite pretty, so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get it. We're just gonna do it. So I got it. And with that being said, let me like show off all the like specialness that is going on with this book because it is quite pretty. So of course we have the cover, and these are the sprayed edges. It's kind of got a floral pattern, and when you open it up, there's the inside art right there. And I believe, yes, this one has a reverse dust jacket cover. So if I wanted to, I could have this be the cover and just like turn it inside out. So that is the cover art right there. I prefer this cover though. I think it's a lot prettier. So I probably will just keep it with this cover, but that is a really cool feature as well. And then this is very, very pretty. Like absolutely stunning, like foil art right there that wraps all around. Oh, and it also has a bonus chapter included, which I don't think you get that in the standard edition. So yeah, really, really cool book. I will, like I said, probably be reading this in the fall time because I'm pretty sure I'll be more in the mood for it by then. Next, actually, I have another special edition of a book that I have yet to read, and that is Butcher and Blackbird by Brynne Weaver. I have put this book on recent TBR videos, and I still have not gotten to it yet, which is insane. That makes me so sad because I've been really wanting to read this one. I've heard fantastic things about it, and I have heard that it is very similar to Lights Out by Navissa Allen, which is most likely going to be my favorite book of the year. So if it is anything like Lights Out, I definitely want to read it. I know it has to do with two serial killers and their romance, and that's all I know. So it sounds really interesting. And let's also show off all the specialness about this book. So we have the cover right there. The edges are just like a purple metallic right there, more of like a fuchsia, I would say. And when you take it off, oh, and the inside right here, some art right there. And the inside of the dust jacket actually just has all of the trigger warnings listed right there, which is a ton. Which, oh my goodness, this is a lot of trigger warnings. What am I getting myself into? I'm gonna have to prepare myself when I finally pick this one up. And then behind the dust jacket, we have another like foil design right there of a bird, and then a axe on the back right there. So yeah, very, very pretty book. I don't think the rest of the books in this series have gotten special editions yet, which I hope they do, because in the chance that I do like this book, I'll definitely want to acquire the rest of the books in this series, and I'd love it if they would match this edition. So I'm sure they'll come out in special editions for the rest of the series, but hopefully that happens, because please, I want my series to match. I'd prefer that. All right, I'm really gonna zip through these because I have so many books here and I just can't spend that much time talking about each and every one of these books. So let's get through these. So the next one is King of Wrath by Ana Huang. I've read Ana Huang's Twisted series before and I really enjoyed it, and I definitely want to read more books from her, so I am going to do that. And I've heard great things about this series. It is a billionaire romance, which is a trope that I don't read a lot of. So when I am in the mood to finally pick up a billionaire romance, I definitely am going to pick up this one. And more books by Ana Huang. I have If We Ever Meet Again and If the Sun Never Sets. These are two books, the first two books in this series. I actually picked these books up at an indie bookstore for like $8 each. It was a super, super good deal. So I was so glad to find these. I know that this one is a romance, and that's all I really know about it. I think there's some traveling aspect involved in it as well. And next I have Satan's Affair by H.D. Carlton. This is a prequel to her Cat and Mouse duet. I was informed while I was reading the first book in the Cat and Mouse duet, Haunting Adeline, that you are supposed to read this book before starting the duet, and I was not aware of that beforehand, and I'd already started Haunting Adeline. But I mean, that's okay. I'm sure I'll still enjoy this regardless, even though I read the duet first. This one follows one of the characters that we get to know in that series named Sibby, and she is a very interesting character, and I'm really looking forward to reading her backstory. Like I said earlier, I'm not in the mood to read dark romance right now, so I'm going to put this one off for a little while when I am more in the mood for it, but either way, really looking forward to reading it. Next I have A Wish for Us by Tilly Cole. I have read from Tilly Cole before. I've read her A Thousand Boy Kisses duology that I really enjoyed, so she's another author who I want to check out the rest of her catalog. And so since this is the other book by her that I do own, I think this is the next book I'm going to check out from her. I know this one is a young adult romance. It also has to do with music, which I've mentioned lots of times. I love books that have to do with music because I am a music lover. So because of that, I think I'll enjoy this one. Next I have Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher. This is the second book in her Dreamland Billionaires trilogy. I have read the first book, which is The Fine Print, but I have not continued on with this trilogy, and I need to do so. I do own the third book, Final Offer, but I had mentioned it in my last book haul. I had owned the first and third book already, but I hadn't hauled the second book yet. So now I have all the books in this trilogy, so it is complete, so I'm happy about that. Next I have Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole. This is a fantasy, I think a romantasy actually, that I've been hearing a lot of fantastic things about. So it's one that I definitely want to read. Do I know anything of what this one is about? Besides the fact that it's a romantasy? No. But because it's a romantasy and I love that genre, I think I'll like it. Another book by Anna Huang that I have in this haul is The Striker. This one is a sports romance from her. The second book in this series comes out later this year, so I definitely want to get started on this one as soon as possible before the second book comes out, because if I like this book, I'll definitely pick up the second one. I am very intimidated by this one though, because it is super long. Like, oh my god, that is really long for a romance book. I know it has to be reaching 600 pages. Yeah, it's like, let's see, 577 pages. That is insane, and that really worries me because the last book in her Twisted series, Twisted Lies, was really, really long, and I think that was a fault of that book because I did not like that book so much because I felt like it just dragged on forever. So I am worried about this one. I still picked it up though, still hauled it because I love Anna Huang's books overall. And so I might still like it. We'll just see how it goes. I'm worried about this one, honestly. But I mean, I've heard pretty good things about it, so we'll just see. Hopefully, I have nothing to be worried about, and this is actually good. Next, I have Gothicana by Runix. I think that's how you pronounce the name. Pen name of this one is super cool. It's just one name, like no last name or anything. I really like it. I know this one is a dark romance, so we're probably going to be holding off getting to this one for a little while. But it sounds really cool. I know it's a romance between a student and a professor. I don't know the extent of the age gap there. We'll just see when I read it. And it sounds like it has sort of a gothic feel, which I love books that have kind of a gothic theme to them, so this one sounds really good. And the last book from my TBR pile from this haul is The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. I actually meant to feature this book in my last book haul, but I forgot to. So we're going to talk about it in this one. I know that this one is a fantasy. It has to do with vampires, and that's all. But I love books with vampires, so I think this will be a good one. We'll just see how it goes. And that is it for the TBR pile. Now, let's move on to the books that I have read that are in this haul, and hopefully it'll be a little more of an interesting section because, yeah, really I didn't have a lot to say about those ones. Don't get me wrong, I do enjoy filming book hauls because I think it is cool to see how many books you've acquired in the span of a few months, but man, sometimes it just can be hard to say anything. You don't really know what these books are about yet, and you haven't read them, so you don't really have any opinions on them. All you can really say is like, yeah, I got this book and hopefully I like it. We'll see if it's good. What else is there to say? Anyway, so starting at the top of the pile again, I have 2 books that I am really happy to have in my collection, and that is Lights Out and Caught Up by Nevessa Allen. These are the Barnes & Noble exclusive special editions. I do already own the standard editions of these books, and the standard editions are actually my annotated copies, but these ones are my pretty copies that will not see a marker or a pencil at all. I technically hauled Caught Up in June, so this would actually be part of my summer haul, and I hauled this one in May because that's when it came out, but I thought it made more sense to talk about them together, so that's what we're doing. So I've talked about this series in length so many times, so we're not going to go over what this one is about, but I will show you all the features of these special editions. There's not really a lot of like special features to these editions. The covers are a little different from the standard editions because the standard editions of the covers are all matte, but we do have some foiling on the designs right here in the eyes of the skeleton and the helmet, which is really cool. And the best thing about these editions are the sprayed edges, and they each have their own quotes on the edges. So for Lights Out, it says, "Can you handle the ride?" And every time I look at this, I keep thinking it says, "Can you ride the handle?" Because if you have read Lights Out, you know which scene I'm thinking of and why I would think this says, "Can you ride the handle?" But it actually says, "Can you handle the ride?" But I always think it says, "Can you ride the handle?" That's all I'm going to say on that. But no, it is, "Can you handle the ride?" And it just has a little bit of a floral design as well, and I think that's it. Oh, and this one also has a special bonus chapter, which I keep forgetting is in here, and I still need to read it. I need to read it so bad. I can't believe I keep forgetting about it. But it does have an extra chapter that is exclusive to this edition that you can't get in the standard edition. I still need to read it really, really bad. And then for Caught Up, it does have a quote right here, and it says, "How do you want it?" And it has kind of like a glass shatter design. I think that's what that is on it as well. No extra chapter in this one at all. Like, I don't think so. I do not think so. Oh, it does have wait. It does have a bonus chapter. I didn't know that. Oh my god. Wait. This is from Tyler's point of view. Why am I just finding this out? Oh my god. Okay, I need to read that too. Oh my goodness, I didn't know that. So yeah, this one also has a bonus chapter as well. All right, moving on, I have 3 books from Penelope Douglas. So I have Birthday Girl, Punk 57, and Credence. Penelope Douglas is an author that I need to continue making my way through her backlist. I have really loved every single book I've read from her so far. I've read Birthday Girl, Punk 57, Credence. Is that it? Oh wait, okay, I take this back a little bit. I did read Bully from her. I wasn't the hugest fan of that one, but I have enjoyed these 3 immensely. Credence I did read this year. This is my most recent read from her. I read Birthday Girl and Pump 57 years ago, and I just acquired them because I hadn't owned them yet, and I do want to reread them as well, so that's why I have them with me. Out of all these though, Birthday Girl is the best, I think. I think this one is still my favorite. I know that this one is a 5-star and these ones are 4 stars. Really enjoyed Birthday Girl and I definitely want to read it. It is an age gap romance that was super, super good. So I got to reread it again. Next I have Where's Molly by H.D. Carlton. This is another book that is part of the Cat and Mouse universe. I did read this one. I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was just okay. It follows one of the characters in the series that we get to know about through journal entries that are in Hunting Adeline, the second book of the duology, and I was really interested to get her backstory because I was super fascinated from what we do know about her in the Cat and Mouse duet, and I overall did enjoy her story in this one. I just wasn't a huge fan of the romance in this one, which is really weird to say because I'm a romance girly, but I feel like this book could have done without the romance. I thought that the romance kind of unserious the serious stuff that was going on in this book, if that makes sense. And I feel like it just wasn't necessary to focus so much on the romance when the main draw with this story was, to me at least, was getting to know more about Molly herself, and I just found her romance kind of uninteresting. But yeah, it was just fine. Oh, and I also do have Hunting Adeline because I did haul this one in the spring season. The sequel to this duology was really good. I might have even liked the second book more than the first. This book was really, really intense though. At least mainly the first half of it was super intense and hard-hitting. It was really hard to read. Like, dark stuff happens in this book, but I really enjoyed seeing the conclusion of Adeline's whole story. She goes through so much character development, especially in this book, so it was really, really good. Definitely a 5-star. Okay, a book that completely surprised me. I have talked about this one in length before. That is Kiss of the Basilisk by Lindsay Straube. I love this book so much, and I am surprised by how much I love this one because this book, it is erotica. This is, listen to me all, take note on this. This is not just a spicy romantasy. This is straight up erotica. This is one of the spiciest books I have ever read. Like, there is spice in pretty much every other chapter. It is insane. But what I really loved about this book is how there was still a really clear plot going on despite the fact that it had so much spice, and I think that had to do with the fact that the spice was part of the plot and all those scenes contributed to our main character's journey, so it just like made sense. And the spicy scenes were also really well written. It was really good. I am definitely looking forward to the second book. It comes out later this year and I do already have it pre-ordered. Really excited for it. But yeah, this book actually, like, I had to like put it down and fan myself and walk away because I was feeling so heated. Anyway, another book that was very spicy but did not get me, like, wasn't excited for it at all was Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I don't know why I still own this book because I should have unhauled it by now because this book was so bad. It was so bad. This is one of the worst books I have read this year. The main reason why I hated this book was the main heroine. She was insufferable. I hated her from the start, and she just never redeemed herself for me. The romance was really stupid. I didn't understand why the hero was so into the heroine because she was so insufferable to me, and he was all over her and thought she was the best thing to ever exist, and I'm like, dude, why do you like her? She's such a bitch. Like, this book was so freaking irritating, and I should really, really let it go. I just feel like the special edition that I got is so pretty that it's hard to let this one go because the book itself is so pretty. Like, that's the cover, the inside, and under the dust jacket. It's pretty simple, but I mean, I just love the aesthetic of this one. So this one is hard to let go. I am debating whether or not I want to read these, like, rest of the books in this series. Even though I really didn't like this one, I still kind of want to give this author a chance because I think she has potential, and the rest of the books in this series do sound interesting. So we'll just see. I haven't done that yet. I'm still debating if I want to pick up the rest of the books in this series, but I don't know. I probably won't, actually. Who has time for that? Especially when I really didn't like the first book. I don't know. You never know what the future holds. Another book that I wasn't, like, the hugest fan of that I have read from this haul, which is sad. That is Does It Hurt by H.D. Carlton. So, like I mentioned, I have read The Cat and Mouse Duet by her, so I've been wanting to read more books from her, especially books outside of the Cat and Mouse universe, so I decided to pick this one up, and this one was just fine. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. The main reason why I wasn't the hugest fan of it is because I found the male main character kind of frustrating at times, and he was kind of cringy. He thought he was like the baddest thing to ever exist, and that made him very cringy to me. So I wasn't really into that vibe about him. Our main female character, though, I really enjoyed watching her journey. She really goes through a lot of character growth in this book, and I really like that about her. The romance was just kind of cringe. really cringe. A lot of cringy, spicy scenes. So, I don't know. This one was just fine. And I really think my rating of this book was affected by the fact that I'm just not in the biggest mood to read dark romance right now. And so that might have impacted my opinion on this one. I'm actually pretty sure it did, because I just don't think I was in the mood to read this right now. So this one would be an interesting one to reread again at a time when I am more in the mood to read a dark romance, to see if my opinion on it changes. We'll see. I might do that, but for right now, it's sitting at a 3-star. Next, I have one of my favorite books of all time that I had owned before, but my initial copy of this book got ruined, so I had to like get rid of it. But I did always plan to repurchase it because I love this book so much, and it has to be in my collection. And that is The Problem with Forever by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is the book that I've been talking about on my channel for like the past 5 years since I read it, because it's an incredible book. This one is a young adult that features these two characters who grew up in the foster system together, but they eventually got separated until they reunite in high school, and their friendship starts back up again, and they eventually fall in love with each other. It is the sweetest story ever. It does have some dark aspects about it as well, but overall it is just so freaking cute, and I related to the main character in the story so much because she has anxiety, and I am also someone who deals with anxiety on a daily basis, so I really connected with her. This is one that I have not read in a while, and I have to reread it again. I should be rereading this one annually because it is definitely one of my favorites. Next, it looks like I have my pile of Book of the Month books that I have read. So let's just get through all of those. The first one is Our Infinite Fates by Laura Steven. This one is a young adult fantasy. I'd more so call it like magical realism. It has a super interesting concept where we're following these two characters who have existed nearly since the beginning of time, but they get reincarnated into a new body every 18 years. And the whole premise of this book is that the male main character, even though like they don't really have a set gender because they're souls, but in the present day we're following in this book, he's in the male body, so I consider him to be a male. But anyway, the male main character, he has to kill our female main character every 18 years for reasons that you do find out about. But while we're reading this, for a while we don't know why, but he has to kill her every 18 years. And then they are reincarnated into a new body, and that cycle repeats itself over and over again, where the male main character has to kill her every 18 years. And you also get flashback chapters of them in their previous lives. It's a very interesting book. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I really, really enjoy it. And if it sounds like something you're interested in, definitely check it out. Next I have Enchantra by Kaylee Smith. This is the sequel to her book Phantasma, which I love. Phantasma definitely is going to be one of my favorite books of this year, so I was really looking forward to its sequel. The sequel isn't as good as Phantasma, but I still enjoyed it. This is a fantasy series, and in the first 2 books in the series at least, they each follow these pair of sisters, and so we're following the younger sister in this one. And both of these books revolve around fantastical games, and they also have great romances in them, which I was very into each of the romances in these books. This one specifically has an enemies to lovers trope in it, which was done really well. Definitely a series that I would recommend, especially the first book because it was incredible. You definitely have to check the series out if you have not read it yet. Next I have Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. I am slowly making my way through Ali Hazelwood's books. She's definitely an author that I want to continue checking out her backlist. Not in Love was the second book that I had ever read from her, and I really enjoyed this one. I did give it 4 out of 5 stars. I really, really loved the romance in this one. It was so sweet, so tender, and loving. Just like all the things that I love about a romance is in this book, which I really appreciated. The next book that I want to read from her is The Love Hypothesis, which I do own, and I've heard really great things about that one, and I think that one is her debut book. I could be wrong about that, but I think it is, so that one will be quite a backlist. That one is actually on my TBR for this month, so I do plan to get to The Love Hypothesis really soon. Next I have Silver Elite by Dani Francis. I absolutely adored this book. It was so good. This one is an adult dystopian. It's like marketed as a dystopian, but I will say that I feel like this book is more of a romantasy than it is a dystopian, and I think it was a mistake to market it as a dystopian because the dystopian genre is taken very, very seriously by a lot of readers. And because this book focuses so much on the romance itself, and it also has a lot of like spicy scenes in it as well, I think this one should have been marketed more as a romantasy rather than a dystopian. I will say that I don't think that the marketing campaign of this book was well thought out at all, and that's kind of a shame because this book is really, really good, and if it gets in the hands of the people who appreciate the romantasy genre, then I think it would get a lot of praise. But unfortunately, a lot of people who are dystopian readers who are not into romantasy, who don't read spice, have picked up this book and have hated it and have like ripped it apart, which is really, really sad. But because I am a romance lover, I absolutely loved this book, and I would highly recommend it if you are into the romantasy genre. I really think you'll like it. That's all I'm gonna say on it. Definitely check out the synopsis to see if it's something you're into, but I really liked it, and it's definitely going to be a favorite of this year. Also, the Book of the Month edition of this book has like pretty sprayed edges right there, which is, this edition is exclusive to Book of the Month, so that's pretty cool. And next I have Passion Project by London Sperry. I really enjoyed this one. This was another 4-star read for me. This is also a debut book by this author, which is really cool because I don't feel like I read a lot of debut books when they initially come out. So I was really happy to read a debut book because that's not something I always do. This one was really, really cute. It is a romance between these two characters. The main heroine of this book, she has just moved to New York after wanting to live there for so long. Her boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend, died recently, so there's a lot of grief that goes on in this book. She goes through a lot, and we're basically just following her journey, trying to move past her grief. And the book starts out, I think if I can remember, she's on a blind date with this guy that doesn't go well at all because she's not really ready to date yet, and she's still like overcome with grief after losing her ex-boyfriend. Eventually she runs into this guy again, and he proposes that they do like this thing called a passion project where they just do things together once a week of a bucket list of things that she wants to do around New York City. And this is to help her find her purpose in life because she feels really stagnant in life because she's going through her grief. So he helps her like find her passion, and it's super, super, super cute. I loved our male main character love interest in this one, Henry. He is so golden retriever energy, and that is my favorite trope when it comes to romance books is black cat golden retriever, and oh my god, he was the cutest golden retriever ever. I loved him. The reason I give this one 4 stars is because it had the miscommunication trope in it that I don't love, and that happened towards the end, and I wasn't the hugest fan of that, but I loved everything else about it. It was really good. Next, I have the Captive Prince trilogy by C.S. Pacat. I had owned the original edition of the first book, Captive Prince, but these editions are so much prettier that I switched gears and picked up these editions instead, even though I already owned the original edition of the first book. I'm like, I have to get the full set in these editions because they are absolutely stunning. Just the artwork on these are so freaking pretty. I just love the art style of them so much. Like, I want to display these. I don't display them on my bookshelves because I don't have room, but I would display these covers if I could because they're so freaking pretty. I did recently unhaul the edition of Captive Prince that I already had because I just don't need it, and it takes up space on my shelf, even though it would have been cool to keep because it is the original edition. I'm like, I don't need it, so I just recently unhauled it, and I have these editions instead. I really enjoyed this trilogy. I had a lot of mixed opinions while reading it. I wasn't the hugest fan of the third book because I felt like the pacing of it was really slow, but the rest of the books in this series are so freaking good that overall this series is like a 4-star for me. It's a really, really good one. It's quite a backlist, but if you haven't read it yet, I would really recommend it. Although be aware that the series has a lot of trigger warnings, so be sure to look those up before you get into them. Next, I have Confess by Colleen Hoover. I read this book so long ago. I think I read it in like 2017, but I hadn't owned this one yet, and my Colleen Hoover book collection is like the biggest collection that I have in my book collection, so I'm like a completist when it comes to my Colleen Hoover books, and I want to own every single book from her. And Confess was one of the books that I have not owned from her yet. So I did pick it up. I can't even remember what I rated this one because I've read it so long ago. I think I gave it 4 stars. I want to say it was a 4 star, so it's not like my favorite book from her, but I remember really enjoying it. It's definitely one that I'm going to have to reread sometime. Next, oh my god, I'm really excited to show off this book because it is the special edition of a book that I have read before, and that is The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. This edition came out just recently, and I had to get my hands on it because it is so freaking pretty. I do already own the standard edition of this book, but I had to get it, especially because I really enjoyed this book when I read it. So we're just going to show it off. That is the cover. It's a dust jacket-less cover, which I love hardcovers that just don't have dust jackets, and the design is on the hardback itself. I'm a sucker for those. Love them. So there is the spine, and then the back. Something about this edition just feels so Disney. I mean, the series is inspired by Disneyland, so that does make sense. And here is the sprayed edges right there. It has like a pin design. And then the inside, this is very pretty. It's all foil right here, which is awesome. And this book does have illustrations inside, which the standard edition doesn't have. I'm gonna see if I can find any of these illustrations. Okay, it took a while, but I found one. So like it has little kind of like doodles right there, just really simple illustrations, which is really cool. I believe these illustrations have to do with the scenes themselves. And there's also art in the back of this one that I have to show off because I think this is my favorite part about this book is the art at the back. Oh my god, it is so pretty. Like, oh my goodness. Like, look at that. I'm just the hugest fan of just like fan art, or just I guess you would call this fan art, but I'm just a huge fan of character art from books because I love having the visualization of these characters from books that I love. That's why I'm just the hugest fan of fan art. Fan artist, you're doing the Lord's work. Like, thank you so much for your service. Anyway, here's the rest of the illustrations. This is so freaking pretty. That one is absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, I love those. I love that those are included in this edition. It's just a stunning edition. I am really looking forward to rereading this book. I am going to reread this one before I get into the rest of the series where I haven't read the second and third book yet because it has been a really long time since I've read this book, so I definitely need to refresh my memory on everything that happens in this one before continuing on with the series. But that's okay because I really genuinely do want to read this one because it has been a while for me. Okay, y'all, finally, the last 2 books I'm going to be talking about from this haul are the recent releases from the Hunger Games series. So I have The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and Sunrise on the Reaping. I did haul The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes in spring because I hadn't owned it yet and I hadn't read it yet. But I did read it this year and I really enjoyed it. I can't believe I put off reading it for so long. The main reason for that is because I heard that it had a lot of negative reviews and that scared me. Because The Hunger Games is one of my favorite trilogies, my favorite books of all time, and I was scared that if I read this book that it would taint my love for the original trilogy, but that was not the case because I ended up loving Ballad so much. It was such a shame that I put off reading it for so long, but I'm glad I finally read it. And Sunrise on the Reaping, as a lot of you may know, came out this year, and so I did buy it the instant that it came out, and I read it pretty quickly after its release date, and I also really enjoyed this one. Both of these were 5-star reads for me. They were so freaking good, and I am really looking forward to the movie adaptation for Sunrise on the Reaping. I think it comes out next year. Is that right? Does it come out this year or next year? I want to say next year. I can't remember all of a sudden. It's like the release date was announced. I think it comes out next year. I do know that they're filming as we speak, so I think that means it comes out next year. But either way, really looking forward to the movie adaptation. The adaptation to Ballad was really good, so they're probably going to slay Sunrise as well, so really looking forward to that. Alright, that is it. That is all the books that I hauled recently. Oh, these videos take a lot out of me. It's a lot to go through, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have sat through this video to the end. Thank you so much, because you do not have to do that, and I know I ramble a lot, but I really appreciate you sticking with me. If you would like to follow me on my other social media, I will leave those links in the description box. That's my Instagram and my TikTok, so those are there if you're interested. I upload every Sunday evening, so that's when you can expect a new video from me. So with that being said, hopefully I will see you next Sunday. Bye!